Hello everyone, it's Shaz here from Sharon Dalton Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Central Highlands, Central Queensland. I live 65k from Rockhampton, so yeah, I go to Rocky and do some card classes in there as well. So I just thought tonight I would do something a little bit different and try just doing stamping and using our inks to colour. So I have used the blends as well. So colouring is not my forte, but I'm going to give it a red hot shot. So I really do appreciate anyone who pops on. If you like what you've seen tonight, please share with your friends and let them know. The video will be posted in the coming days. Usually takes me about 24 hours to get it to upload. So yeah, so I'll share that, and then I'll share the cards as well. So excuse me. I'll just see if I can get the other device working, and then I'll get into it. Let's see. Have we got? Are we live? Here we are. Now just making sure there's no volume there, so that's good. And I will set it up on the other device as well. So sharing it on my other page. Hello Broylene, how are you? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave me a comment so you can go in the draw for the cards that I make tonight. Okay, I'll just get this other device set up, and then I will just trying to find me is the thing. They change it all the time, so I just need to find me. Let's have a look here. Sorry guys. Here we go. There I am. How are you been, Royleen? What have you been up to? Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. Let's share this now to a group. And that group. Okay, that looks to be done. You're good, are you? That's good. Have you been doing any crafting, love? Did you did you order from the pre-order? And if you have you got it yet? Mine's still coming. Yeah, so, well, I've got a couple of people there watching, so I'm going to point you up to the ceiling. Hello, Jules. How are you? Thank you for watching. I've done a few cards, but babysitting again now. Oh, yeah. The joys of being a grandparent, hey? I just love it. I just had a quick FaceTime with my granddaughter before I come on, and oh, she's so excited to see me, so that was good. Okay, so I'll point you up to the ceiling. Oh, I've got a frog in my throat tonight. And then I'll flip the camera. So if you're dizzy, just look away for a minute. And I'll give myself a little bit extra light in there. There we go. Righto, how far down have I got to come? If I go up just slightly. Oh, it changes every time I do this. But anyway, I'll get there eventually. How are you, Jules? Did you enjoy your catalogue today? We just got our catalogues, Royleen. We've been waiting. I've ordered a few new products and they've arrived. Then ordered retired items on Tuesday and they're on their way. Oh, very good. Awesome. Yeah, no, well, I didn't order any retired stuff. I ordered some new stuff, but yeah, I've had a few days of a few of the new products since coming back from on stage, so not going to be greedy. Yeah, righto. So tonight we're using a product from the mini catalogue, and we're also using a product from the annual catalogue. Now the one in the mini, it is carrying over. We're using Stippled Roses here. Oh, you got yours today too. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, we're using the Stippled Roses for one of the techniques. Yes, it is very different, Jules. It's very different to anything that we've had before, but you know, onwards and upwards. That's what we've just got to keep thinking. They're trying to get with the new age. So Stippled Roses is a combo of stamps and dies. Now this one is carrying over into the new catalogue, and I believe it's on page 79. Now I can't show you the inside of the catalogue, but I'll just grab it out from here, and I think it was 79. Oh, look at that. How's my memory? So yes, so it's carrying over as a bundle into the new catalogue. So I used Stippled Roses yesterday at the Coffee and Cards. I'll show you those cards a bit later. And then we are using a retiring stamp, which I absolutely love, on the annual catalogue on page 107. Now this stamp is 50% off. So when you see what I've done with it, you might want to race out and buy it. I have done some cards where I've used all these images on one card, and yeah, it looks really, really good. So 50% off, so it's only going to cost you $20.50. So pretty good value for that one. And it's got a couple of beautiful sayings there. Hello Kay, how are you? And hello Mum, how are ya? Got away from that baby, did you? So yeah, so for those of you who've just joined, I'm going to be using a retiring product and a product from the mini that's carrying over into the new. So if you've got a catalogue, it's on page 79 of the new catalogue, and that's the Stippled Roses. So I'll get these out of the road. Now, I don't know if any of you looked at my business page today. I put up some measurements in case you wanted to craft along. Well, I don't know what drugs I was on because the measurements that I gave you for one card, I don't know. I just was like, what was I thinking? So I put up another post with the measurements. So let me know if you're crafting along with me. And I also used my colour wheel that we got it on stage. Now, these are not going to be available for demonstrators to order, but you can see the colour wheel in the catalogue. There is a picture of the colour wheel. So yes, it doesn't have, you know, the rotating whatever you call these layers. So yeah, but I really found this helpful today when I was trying to choose some colors. So that was just a bonus for going to on stage. So I actually am using two sketches that for those of us who went to on stage, we got our choice of a stamp set and the matching dies. Well, Stampin' Up! Then created another file with some extra projects in it. So this is one of the cards we're making tonight. Now, I'm not using this stamp but this stamp is the one that I chose, Spotlight on Nature. Now this has some, let me just grab those dies, some circular dies with some die cut bits in them. So there's, I think there's 10 circles. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12. So, yes, so you've got coordinating ones for these, like little eyelet ones, and then you got these little dotty ones. So that was what we used on the after hours craft along. So that was really beneficial. Yes, it was another expense, but it was an expense well worth it, because we've got, you know, lots of ideas that we can use this stamp with. So yeah, so this card here, I did keep it in black and white so that you couldn't see oh sorry oh dear, you couldn't see the actual colors and design that they used. So that is our, which one did I end up making? That one. That is card number 1. And the next one is this one, which was another one of the sets that you could pick. It was something Botanicals in the mini, in the new annual catalogue on page 34. Citrus Blooms, it's called. Mediterranean Blooms is the sweet collection, and I really like the dies in that. They look really, really amazing. So yeah, so this one, basically 3 bits of paper. And today when I was talking to, hello Ruth, how are you? Thanks for joining, love. Today when I was talking to Emma, the DDM from New Zealand, she gave me a challenge and she said, Sharon, I want to see you using just stamps, ink and paper. No DSP, you know, no dyes, no, you know, not all that extra stuff. So yeah, so my board's annoying me because it's crooked, but I can't work out which way to straighten it. Is it this? Let me have a look. See, it's not even showing on that picture. So if I move that up a bit, there we go, that's a bit better. Hello Alice, how are you? Thanks for joining, honey. Yeah, so this one is very, very simple. And then we're going to do some colouring in here. So I'm going to get into it. If you are crafting along, let me know. And I'll go a little bit slower. But I want to try and get through 2 cards tonight. So let's go for gold with this one. And this is the one I made the mistake with the measurements. So, oh dear, I don't know. It was, I was making it and I was like, what have I done here? I just couldn't work it out. It took me all day to do this and I don't know why, because it shouldn't have. Okay, so what we've got in this little pack of goodies here is we've got a landscape card. So this is just a half a sheet of our A4, cut at 14.85 and then scored at 10.5. So we're just going to use that one that way. Then we've got a piece of coloured cardstock, which is 14.3 by 10 centimetres. And that one's going to go on there once we've got our layers together. I might have to trim this one a little bit because it needs a little bit more border, top and bottom. You're just watching and relaxing. Oh, that's good, Ruth. And then we've got a piece of basic white, which is 14.3 by 7.5. So we're going to do some masking on this. So that one's going to go on there. And then these 2 pieces of card, I said 11.5 by 1.5. Well, they're not quite that, but we'll just cut them down to what size we need, and then we need something for our sentiment. So looks like an easy card, so let's get going. I'm just going to pop all of those bits out of the way because we don't need them at the moment. So this one here, what I've done is I have cut it up, not cut it up, I've divided it up into sections, and we're going to do the 3 circles with masks. Now I've made sure that my sticky note is the same width as our paper. The only thing I have to watch is that I don't go over this edge because we don't want any blending over this side. Sorry, gotta go. That's okay, it'll be on later for the replay. Thanks, Royleen, thanks for popping in. So yes, so we're gonna do some blending, and I'm going to use some Berry Burst. Now, I always put my ink on the block and blend on the block. I'm just gonna bring a scrap in to do this blending. And we only want this Berry Burst color right at the top. So starting off your page and making sure that you don't have a big blobby bit, and then just coming on, trying not to go over the edge because we don't want that other color, that going on the other side, because we're going to make 3 circles here. So I'll leave that one for now, and then I will get my Flirty Flamingo. So I need to add a bit of ink to this. As you can see, I've made a previous version so that you can see. So I'll just ink that up. Now this one, I'm going to go in the middle. So just coming in, blending gently. Now I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this. I'm just putting a little bit of pressure, just so you can see that variation in color. And then I'm going to get, do you know what? I think Calypso was supposed to be next. Anyway, because I think Calypso's darker, yes. So we'll redo that bit. Whoa, that's a bit much ink. So I'm only going to get a very little bit. Yeah, so we'll put the Calypso next, because I don't want it too strong. That'll do me. Oh, careful, Shaz. And then I'll bring that Flirty back in now. Now I have to do this for all 3, so just chat amongst yourselves and tell us what you've been doing. Alice, have you got your catalogue yet? There we go. So starting off the page again and then coming down onto this bottom half. Now that nearly looks the same, so I'm going to bring the Berry Burst back in and make it a bit darker up the top. There we go. So there's our first one done. So I'm just going to peel this off. Ah, pretty, yeah. I thought I did that. That's why you have to be careful. But anyway, we'll make sure my stamping covers that. So what I might do is grab another sticky note and just put over that one, just so it doesn't get any more ink on it. There we go. Okay, so starting off with the Berry Burst again. Now, it arrived today too, yeah, so did ours out here at GoGo. So some berry burst at the top again. I might bring just a little bit more in. And what do you think, Alice? Are you got a wish list a mile long, or are you being very frugal? So then I'll bring back in the Calypso Coral. Through that middle section now. There we go. And then Flirty back in. Doesn't seem to stay very wet, this one, so might have to re-ink it. And then put that down the bottom. I wonder if I make that middle one pumpkin pie. I wonder. Let's have a look here. Because we can always change it. All right, you get out of the road. Bit of a wish list, but struggling to find things in the new layout. Yes, that is the issue. The new layout will take a little bit of getting used to. Even for me, I'm still struggling. So, and I've had that little bit extra time. So I'm just going to bring this through the middle just to make it that little bit darker in that middle section. So that color is Pumpkin Pie. So that looks a bit better. I'm a bit happier with that. So I'll do that on this other middle section. Now just making sure that when you put your fingers down that you try not to put ink everywhere. So I'll line this one back up. I just cut these with the old nested circles so that I could, because the punch doesn't really like to punch the paper out, because this is a full solid back sticky piece of paper. There we go. And then I'll move it on to the next one now. And I know that it's right if the paper covers top and bottom. I know that I've got my circle lined up in the right place. Right, so we'll leave that to the side and I'll bring the berry burst back in. Hello Justine, how are you, love? Thanks for coming on. You're loving the colours? Yeah, the colours are Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, and then I've just brought a bit of Pumpkin Pie in. So again, starting off your page, actually I'll put this one on here so I don't get any ink blended on that circle. Yeah, Berry Burst at the top. And I do have two lines there, so I'm going to have to make sure when I stamp my images that my images cover those. Hello Vic, how are you? Thank you for joining. Is it cold down your way? It was certainly Jack Frost weather here. Vicky's at Penrith, so I'm sure it's going to be a bit cooler down there than it is here. There we go. Pop that one back. Now I'm going to add Calypso Coral just so that I've got the same kind of tonings, and then I will add the Pumpkin Pie. Whoops. There we go. I'm going to bring that Berry Burst back in and take those big harsh lines out there. You won't really notice it once we've done the whole picture. I'll leave that one and I'll do the Calypso. No, Flirty. Definitely needs re-inking. It's very dry. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the pumpkin pie. Just through that middle section. There we go. So let's get all these inks out of our road so we don't get any ink on our project. Bit chilly, winter dressing gown. Yeah, well, I had to drag a jumper out this morning. I was a bit like, so just pull those masks off now. You will need them, one of them at least again. Now, sometimes this happens that you nearly get a full edge and sometimes you get a missing edge and a full edge. So we'll just have to trim this down a little bit so that it looks even. So now I'm going to get rid of this piece of paper and bring that back in. Okay, so what, oh dear. Anyway, it'll be an embellishment or something. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our images inside these circles. So like I said, we're going to use another mask, but I've got a clean one here so that it doesn't have any ink on it. And you're just going to line it back up again so that when we stamp with our dark color, we're not going to get ink outside of our circle. So what I'm using is these ones. So I'm going to use this little one here. I've done some tree surgery, stamp surgery on. I took a Ruth Trice's class and I just needed a little bit of that. So I just hacked open my stamp, and then this little guy here. Yeah, this little fella. So we're going to use those ones. So the first one I did was this one. Now, because we only really want this much of the stamp, I'm going to bring the ink to the stamp. Yes, it's a good technique, this one, because you get beautiful blended backgrounds. Now you could also flick that with some water and it will take some of the ink out. So I've only inked up that much, see? So what I'm going to do now is I'm hopefully going to make sure that I only get, where's that mark? Oh, I can't even see it now. There we go. Yeah, sometimes that happens, where if you don't press hard enough, you don't get the whole image here with the bit of the mask. That's okay, we're going to put our strips along there. So I'll just pull that one off. And the next one I used was this one. So because this is such a little one, it doesn't matter that we ink up the whole image. I have to move this mask over. Go. Oh, nearly got a bit of ink on me. So I'm going to put a bit more pressure on it this time, down where that mask edge is. That's better. There we go. Just makes such a difference when you add the stamps to it. Yeah, Ruth has us all cutting up our stamps. Yeah, that's for sure. But it's for a good cause. We make some beautiful one sheet wonders with Ruth. There we go. And then the last one, peel that one off as well. And the last one is this little guy. Now I did this twice. So I stamped it once and then I re-inked it. So I'm going to put a little bit up here because we've got that real dark bit up there. Okay, and then I'm going to re-ink it. Now this is Misty Moonlight, this colour. So in my instructions I said you need a darker ink. So I'm going to make this one go up a bit higher because there is that other little mark up there. There we go. And then peel that off. And look at that. So you could make beautiful sunsets out of this same technique by doing that. Grab my chamois and just clean this off. Just don't want to have ink on everything, so I'm going to clean that off first. Now, like I said earlier, Emma asked me to, challenged me to use stamps, ink and paper, not bring any tools into the mix. So I thought, how am I going to put some texture on my strips? So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use these little guys here and put some stamped images, especially on this, what color is that? Bubble bath one. Let me get a little block. Now, I don't know if you know, but Stampin' Up are not going to be selling this size block, and, oh, I don't have the other one. The long rectangle eye block, I think it is. So if they're still available, jump in and get them. So we've got an A, a G, and an I that are going from our little regime. So I'm going to put that Misty Moonlight ink away and grab the bubble bath. So I'm going to move that up a bit. And so I'm just going to randomly stamp this on our bit of bubble bath. So now when I add this on, there'll be something to look at. I might put another one down here just in case I make it a little bit longer. So at least we've got some texture in the background of that one. And then on the Misty Moonlight one, I'm going to use Starry Sky, which is way over here, but it's quite a dark one. And it's retiring, that one. That's one of our in colours that are retiring this year. Yeah, so I'm going to add, actually I might use this little fine one. And I'll get my scrappy bit of paper back in so I don't mess up my new sheet. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to take one generation of ink off. And I'm just going to rotate my stamp every so often. Just to give us something to look at. I might even go this way. So it's not just, we're making our own DSP here. Now, if any of you don't know who both Vicky and I are talking about with Ruth Trice, go look up The Artful Stamper. Is that her correct name, Ruth? Vicky? The Artful Stamper by Ruth Trice. Go look her up because she does amazing stuff. Oh man, she's very, very inspirational. I'd love to have half her talent. Very, very smart. Okay, let's get that out of the road. So now that we've got this piece with a little bit more missing than this one, I'm just going to trim this down. Artful Stamping with Ruth. Thanks, Vic. I knew you'd know exactly. So we're only going to take like just a little tiny slither. Whoop, now that moved. We're only taking a little tiny slither off so that they both look about the same amount. Now I think my line has gone up a bit, but what is it? She is on most mornings on YouTube. Yes, she is. So now what we'll also have to do is we'll also have to trim this down just a little bit because we want it exactly even. So about that much, girls. Let's see. Maybe just another little slither. And then we have to take some off the top as well because I want to have it a bit more even around our card base. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's better. Now let's bring our card base back in. So how much do I want to take off? I might take about 1/8 of an inch. And see how that looks. Just a slither. Because we want it to be fairly even all the way around. Maybe just a little bit more. Now, like I said, this card is very, very simple. There's nothing hard about this card whatsoever. It's just layers upon layers. Layers of ink and layers of paper. There we go. So now we're just going to glue these two together. Now remember not to go too close to the edge because with this glue, if you've got too much glue on it, it tends to spurt out the side. Now to make sure that I get it even, I just line it up with this solid line going up the middle. I think that looks about even. And then I'm going to eyeball it. Oh, I moved my paper. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. There. And the beauty of this multi-purpose glue is you've got that little bit of wiggle room. And then now, if you wanted to, what you could do with this layer now is run it through your embossing machine with one of your embossing folders. But I'm sticking with simple, so I can show Emma I can do simple. Emma calls me the 50,000 layer card lady. So I'm like, oh yes, I know, I love my layers. And I always open my card up to put my layers on, just so that I can get it evenly on the card base. It could go that way just a little bit. There we go. So now these two pieces here, I'm going to angle them so that one, I'm going to put the pink one down first, and then I'm going to put the Misty Moonlight one on the top. So bring back in that little trimmer. Now they've got theirs going the other way in their design. Accurate. Am I accurate? I don't know about that. They've got theirs going from this end, but I want it coming from this end because I've I've made that bit of a mistake there. So I'll just straighten this up again. So I'm gonna take about, which way do I want my, so about that long, and then I'll trim it down up at this end. So now to get the same angle as this, I could literally put that on top of there and chop it. But what I normally do is I grab my piece and put on there so I don't chop this one again. Don't know if you can see that. And then I just hold it in place so that I get the same angle as that last one. And then just my scrappy bits. Now, because I want to make this bubble bath one a little bit longer than the blue one, the Misty Moonlight, I will put it down first. So I'm just going to grab a pencil and put a mark here because I want to trim it right to the edge of that layer. So there we go. So we can stick that one down now. But before I do that, I just want to check whether I want to make it a little bit skinnier. Yeah, I might just trim like that much. That much off of it. There we go. Happier with that. And I'm going to do the same with this one, but I'm just going to make it a little bit skinnier. I love this little trimmer. I wished Stampin' Up! Still had them. So now that we've got that one there, I'm going to pop this one on the top, making sure that that's lined up. And I'm just going to put a mark there where I need to cut that one as well. And it's very hard in this light to see where that is. Making sure it's straight along the top of the trimmer. A puffed ink, yes, that's it, Alice. Righto, so I'll glue this one down. Now you could add layers, but I'm keeping it simple. But there's still, you know, how many layers? 6 layers on this card by the time we're finished. So there's our first strip. Now just try and make sure that it looks straight before you put the other one on. There we go. So again, just multi-purpose. Now you could use whatever glue you want or whatever medium you want. So that's on there now. And now in the Botanical Layers, there's 3 sentiments here. You mean the world to me. Thank you for everything and thinking of you. So I think I will do thank you for everything because, you know, we always need thank you cards. So, and I'm going to do that one in Misty Moonlight. Actually, I might do it in Night of Navy. There's definitely going to have to be some bling put up there. Right. Now on my original card that I've made, I've actually fussy cut around this, but I'm not going to do that just for ease of time tonight. I'm just going to use the trimmer to trim it up. Get rid of this ink before I make a mess. So let's have a look here. What's your favourite new in colour, Alice? And everyone else, tell me what your favourite new in colours are. Have you done a pre-order, Alice? Oh, that thing moved again. Just didn't want to put my finger on the ink in case it wasn't quite dry. There we go, get rid of all those ones. Now I still think that's too big, so I'm going to trim it a bit more. Let's just hope I don't chop off the Y and the G. Let's come in fairly close to that one. It'll probably look good with a circle. Let's see. What size circle have I got? No, it won't fit in that one. Okay, come in as close as I can there. Oh, you like them all. Well, Pretty in Pink was around before, Alice, so yeah, there we go. So there's, I really don't want to cover up that whole thing. Maybe if I come down here a bit. What about, let's do something else. Let's cut this through. Thank you for and then we can do the everything. I just don't like that it's so wide. Thank you for, what about just thank you? Or that. Now I think it really needs to be chopped around. So just bear with me, girls. Thank you. And then I'll chop this down. There we go. That looks better. It's not perfect, but it will do. There we go. So I'm going to pop that one up just because it's so little now. Pop it up on some dimensionals. I'm waiting for my order to come. I've almost used all my big dimensionals, so I've been using these little tiny ones. Yeah, just the thank you, Vic. I think that's what it definitely needed because the other one was too big. But when you see the other version, you'll see by cutting it out, it looks so much better. Out of the way, little white fellas. Thank you. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some bling. So some of you may or may not know this. But if you've been around a while, you'll know that if you have a clear gem, you can colour it. So what did I do with my Calypso? What did I do with it? Did I put it away? No, it's still here. So I'm going to colour 3 of the gems with the blends. So just be careful when you're doing this because you can wreck your tips. Just very gently add colour to the bling. Come back and add some more. Because it's alcohol, it'll dry really quickly. But yeah, just be careful with your tips because they're a bit delicate. Okay, so let's put that into there. Who knew that trick? I'm sure Vicky would have. She's been around the ridges for a while. This is my dilemma with bling. Where do I put it? Yep, I might put one there, I think. And then put this little tiny one just over here. So always trying to form a triangle if you can, to draw your eye to a point. So, whoa. There we go. So that is our card finished. Now I'll bring the other one back in and show you how much difference it makes when you use the same colours but not as much intensity. So let's move these bits out of the road, we don't need them. So this is tonight's card. And this is the card that took me all day today, this one over here. And this is our sketch. Now you will notice in the catalogue that there's a section in the brand new catalogue that there's a section, I can't show you the inside, but I'll tell you what page it's on for those of you who've got your catalogue. Have a look on page 22 of your catalogue. I've done it before, but you reminded me, thank you. Oh, about colouring, yes. Yeah, on page 22 of your new catalogue, there's all these little sketches, see like here? So Stampin' Up have done a fair bit of work for us there that makes it a lot easier that we don't have to think. So, and like I said, these sketches that I've got here are from a publication that the people who went to on stage could download. So I don't know if it's up there for everyone to see, but it may well be. So yeah, so what do you reckon, girls? Which is your favourite? The first, the one I did tonight, or the first one? Tell me which one's your favourite, and then we'll get on with the next. And this was the other thing that I did with these colours, is because I didn't have so much intensity, it's a lot lighter. You like the first one, the one I did today, or the first one I did tonight? The first one? Oh, very good. Yeah. Okay, so I'll put that aside now and get on to the next one. Now the next one we are using blends on. I like them both for different reasons. The pink, but I like the right one as it looks more like a sunset, yeah. This is called silhouette stamping, this so that it looks like, you know, the sun's setting behind it. The one you did earlier, Vic, yeah, the first one is my favourite, but you like both. Yeah, I think the colours look very nicer on that one. And this one I like that I've added that extra little bit of texture and dimension onto the banners there. So, righto, so I'll pop them aside and I'll get the next project up and going. Okay. That one in there. Okay, so our card number 2 is using this sketch. So very, very simple. You could smash out hundreds of these cards because it's just 2 layers of paper on your cardstock, on your card base, and then just a little sentiment at the top. So I have pre-done some of it so that we don't have to take forever and ever. If I can get it out of the plastic bag. Right. So we needed, for this one, we needed a coloured card base in a landscape. So I've got mango, no, what's that one called? Melon Mambo. And then I've used Bubble Bath. And then I've got, I'll just move that up a bit. Then I've got my white layer for in the background. And then I've got a small layer here, which this top lot of flower fruit here is popped up. So we'll stamp one on there and start to color it. And then I've already pre-done the colors, so I'll show you how I did that. And then your sentiment. So, and I've got a piece of Coastal Cabana for that one. So I'm going to use grey granite. Now, as I said, you can use any color that you want to use, but I'm going to use grey granite as the color of the Stippled Rose. So let's get that back in just so you can have a little bit more of a look. Now on this one, they've used the dies from the die set that come with this stamp set, Mediterranean Blooms. And they've used the dies to cut out pieces in the background. But I've just done two straight pieces of cardstock. This one I think is 13.8 by 9.5, and this one I think is 13.3 by 9. Yeah, 13.3 by 9. So I just made it that little bit smaller. So let's get our sketch up there a little bit, scooch him up. We want that out of the road, we want that one, and we want this one. So here's my stamp. So it is a really big stamp, this one, and it's very texturized. So it gives a lot of dimension to the flower. So again, because it's such a big image, I'm going to bring the ink to the stamp and just go all the way around. And then, because we want, like in this sketch here, we want a fair bit showing out to the side, I'm going to go out here a fair bit. Just hold that there for a minute. Hope that didn't move then. There we go. Now look at that. Just looks so beautiful. And I love grey granite. It's such a nice grey brown. Just beautiful. Now with this other piece of white, I'm just going to do the rose. So just move that out of the road for a minute. I'm just going to do this end rose. Hope I got that top leaf. Oh yeah, just made it. Righto, so I'll clean that off now because we're not going to use that again. If you were going to do an envelope or the insert, you could use that on the inside. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the leaf over this side, and I'm going to put some texture on the back of this one. So Melon Mambo. And again, because it's such a big image, I'm going to bring the ink to the card. Now remembering to rotate. Oh, look girls, I made it all but I was going to keep it all precious. But But anyway, it doesn't matter. That one there. Go this way. Now you don't need to put a lot of pressure on these stamps because they've got so much detail on them. They just stamp so beautifully. I can see a wreath in that one. We could make that into a rose leaf wreath. There we go. And then another one down there. And maybe some up in that top corner. Because we're not going to see the inside of this, it doesn't really matter that we've got the leaf in the stem in there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a leaf up here. Oh, I missed completely. Where is that edge? There we go. That time I got him. And I'm going to put another one down here. And maybe one here as well. Just so that you've got some kind of texture in the background. And don't do what I just did and get a halo. But hopefully we won't notice that. There we go. So that's our colour in the background there. So that's Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo. So by the time we get this on here, you're not going to notice those other bits. And look, it might even cover up my little misdemeanor there. So I'll clean that off. So it just looks beautiful, this stamp. There we go. Get that out of the road now. Now, of course, you could put this through the embossing machine and put, hello, Mary Jo, how are you, love? Thanks for watching all the way from, where are you? New York City? Yeah, so, so you could run this through the embossing folder, or you could do what we did here and put some background stamping on it, but I'm not going to do that with this one. So now we're going to get on to colouring this. I need to turn this over now because it's distracting me. There we go, out of the way. Come back in there. Upstate New York, is it? Yep, okay. Nearly got it right. What time is it there, love? Righto, so that's going to go there and that one's going to go there. And we're going to start colouring this one. Now, I have coloured it with the Bubble Bath and Lost Lagoon. Now, how I colour is probably not the right way. I'm not very good at colouring, but I'll give it a go. 6:30 a.m. Oh, ready for work, are you? So what I do is I always start with the light and I just do a circular motion around my pieces of the petal. I have been watching Alyssa Tilsner, and she has some great colouring techniques in her lives, but I really do struggle with colouring, so I just do it my way. I was watching Courtney today and she was using blends, and she asked me whether I used it the light or the dark first, and I said I use the light first because I figure that you can come back in with the light after you've added some dark, and you know, it'll just blend over, and that's the idea of the blends, is that they all blend together. So I'm not putting a great deal of pressure on this. And I could be using the brush end, but I prefer the nib end. So, and I just do little circular motions. Like I said, I'm not going to colour the whole thing in, but I just want to show you how I start off doing it. And then you just keep building layers of colour with these blends. So it sounds like I'm pushing hard, but I'm actually not. It's just a very light stroke. I'm just doing circular motions because then you don't get any actual lines then. See, there's a little bit there that I missed. And I think that's part of that. Oh, let me have a look. Let me have a look at my other flower. Yeah, I think that's part of the flower, so I'll colour that bit in. How's your foot, Mary Jo? She had a moon boot at Houston for on stage, poor thing. Righto, so there's our flower coloured. Just fill in those bits that you've missed out. Now come in with the dark bubble bath. I've watched Emma Goddard and she does the basic beige is great for using the blends. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so this technique is one that Emma Goddard has displayed a few times in her YouTube videos, and she just does a pouncing kind of action and just puts some little dots of colour. And the beauty of these stamps is that Stampin' Up have shown us where we need to make the light and the dark. So I'm just following their guide. And just adding some little dot bits where they've added their dark, just to give us some where the light and shade is. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't really know what I'm doing, but the few times that I have coloured, I don't mind what I've ended up finishing up with. So, and that's the thing, you know, it just takes practice, and it's just something that I don't concentrate on enough. So just keep adding some little dots in there, down here between these petals. Just some little tiny dots. And you can see that it's giving the petals some dimension. Another bit just there. Oh, I missed that complete one there. So now, as it dries, you'll notice that it fades in a bit. So that's when I come back in with my light one and go over it again. So this is one that I've previously done. I can see here where I've missed a few things. So I'm just going to go over that whole flower petal with the light again and just add in those bits that I missed out. Now, Courtney was telling me today that Colour Lifter is her friend. I don't even think I own a Colour Lifter, so not really sure about what the Colour Lifter does, but I imagine that it takes some of the colour out of your flower. And I've also seen Alyssa use a white pencil to add some light and shade in her colouring. So just keep going around now. And you can see that I'm building up the colour. If anyone has any tips, let me know. Put a comment there and let me know what your tips are on using blends. Like I said, I'm not a professional at this. I just am winging it, faking it till I can make it. So now it looks like I've taken out all of those other little bits, but Colour Lifter is good, is it, Ruth? You must enlighten us. So I'm just going to add some more of that little dark dots in here. Just a few, just to pick up those highlights. Do you love colouring, Ruth? And I don't think it really matters, like, you know, it's not like you're going to go out in the garden and check out whether it's looks exactly like the rose that's in the garden. At the end of the day, it is art, so I don't think you need to really stress about it. Just go with it and have fun. So then the same thing with the leaves. I've just gone around, and this is the Lost Lagoon Light. I've just gone around with it, and then I've gone back over and done the little dots in the dark, just to give it some more dimension on those leaves, definition. And then I also come along with the edge of my pen and just colour these edges in so that you don't have your white showing. Now again, being very careful with the edge of your tip, because you don't want to ruin your tip. And that gives you a little bit of colour around your edges then. There we go, I can see another one in there. There we go. So that's our flower. So grab them out of the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick our layers down onto our card. Oops, moved it again. Sorry guys. Tell me who loves colouring. I used to as a kid, but I think I'm just too judgmental of my abilities these days. As we get older, we start to doubt ourselves and try to think that tell ourselves we're not as good as we actually are. There we go. And then this one I'm just going to do on a bit of an angle. I noticed there's a bit of ink, so I'm just going to take a slither off that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one that way. So just like in the sketch, which I've taken away. What did I do with it? Here it is. Yeah, in this sketch, they've just overlapped them. So I'm going to do that. So just try and make sure that it's overlapping a little bit on all edges. There we go. And now, as you can see, I've already cut this one out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it up here so that we've got the grey granite background down here, and then I'm going to put our birthday wishes on top of it. That not you, not straight. Yes, I know. But I'm following the sketch, Mum. Mum knows me well. So yes, I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. As you can see through the back there, you can see some of the shading that I've done. So if you're going to do the blends on an envelope, make sure you pop a piece of paper inside your envelope first, because the blends will bleed through. So just grab some dimensionals and put on this. Now, let's have a look at this, because I don't want to completely cover that rose, and I don't really want to completely cover that one as well either. So I might go about there, peel those little backings off. Now, what you could do in this set of stamps and dies is some leaves that go really well with it, the Stippled Rose, and they've got a lot of texture on them. What we could have done is die cut some of those out of your Coastal Cabana and put behind, but I'm keeping it simple. Now I'm just going to chop this birthday wishes down. So there's our sketch and there's our card. So how am I going, girls? And it's looking pretty much like the sketch. So let's get this guy straight. Now they've got a big word on theirs, but I'm just going to use a little one, and I'm going to do the angle again. Actually, I might go this way. And then to get the same angle at the other end, I'm going to pop my piece back on and hold it on there and not chop my finger off. There we go. And there's our birthday wishes. So what we'll have to do with that is put dimensionals on this far end as well. And then I also, because we've got the layer of paper here, I also put just a little bit of paper on the back to make sure that it's the same height. So I'll just chop one of those off. Stick that on this end. And then I'll stick my dimensionals on. And then that way it will be the same height as the rose. Actually, I'll put another one on top of that one because might need one there. So I'll just cut another little bit off. And this time I'll stick that there and put a bit of glue on that. There we go. Pop them on. Someone doesn't have his backing taken off. Now, trying to make sure this is straight will be the death of me. I've got to get my ruler and do myself a little line just so I know that it's straight. And I'm just going to put it out here because I'll be able to rub that off then. And this is going to be covered, so pop it on there as well. Most people are not as particular as me, but I really quite like making sure Oh, we don't need one there because I need it to just be glue. Because it's going on to the flower. You have nothing but I have more trouble following a sketch than going freestyle. I love a sketch because it gives you something to start with. Like Vicky Wright and I are doing sketches every week. And I've really been enjoying those sketches because it allows me to create more free flowing and not have to think, oh, what am I gonna do here, or what am I gonna do there? Well, it's still a bit wet. Just gonna try and take that bit off. There we go. So there's tonight's version. Actually, I've got to put bling on that yet, so don't get excited yet, Sharon. So I'm just going to put some more bling on this. This time I'm just going to use the gems on their own because it's they're so pretty. And a little tiny bubby one. Maybe like a dewdrop. I don't know. Yeah, maybe there. There we go. So that is our finished card. So what do you reckon? Side by side? Does it look like that sketch? And then I'll show you my original one. So the original one I used grey granite and Pearl Party and Calypso Coral, I think. I used pencils for this one, but no, Coastal Cabana. Coastal Cabana and Flirty Flamingo for the colouring. And again, the same thing I did with this was went around in a circular motion and then come back in with my blending brush, blender pen, and blended the colour together. Now, one thing I did do with this one was I used my Calypso Coral and just gently flicked the end to get the colour on this one. Hopefully you're able to see that. And again, I coloured the gems with that. And I put the leaf on this one and the rose on the grey granite background on that one. So I really quite like that one. But this one's just as pretty. I just kept it a little bit simpler. So which is your favourite, girls? I'll get both of the cards back in. Pull that sketch out of the road now. So that was my original one of those. So the originals are on the right and the ones I made tonight are on the left. So let me know in the comments which one is your favourite, and then I'll just grab these other stamps to show you what we made yesterday at class. Let's just hope we don't have a Leaning Tower of Pizza now. Okay, the pink. This pink one is your favourite? Yeah, so as I said, yesterday I had my coffee and cards and we used the Stippled Rose again. And I did another colouring technique with this one where we just used daubers on the ink. and added our colour to our little rose there. And then I just cut some of those leaves that I was telling you about to put behind it. So that one, and then this one is the triple stamping that we did on the day. So some ladies did all of the in colours. They did Tahitian Tide, one lady did. A couple of ladies did the Orchid Oasis. And what was the other one that someone did? The Sweet Sorbet, I think, was the other one. So yeah, so those were our cards yesterday. And then talking about our sketches that Vicky and I are doing, last week was our first one. And so all the details are on my Sharon Dalton Independent Stampin' Up website page for that one. And then this is this week's sketch. So I've made a couple of cards with that. And again, a play on the sketch. This one, I've just used these images as my pieces here instead of using actual pieces of cardstock. And then this one is where my sentiment goes. And then I've just trailed off and put something over here. But I also did another version. Now this is new paper in the background here, Thoughtful Journey paper this one is, and it's in the new catalogue. And then this is another piece. So what I did here was I actually cut out this background piece and then put in a layer of the petunia pop and then put my piece back into the back of it. And just die cut these out of the dies. So yeah, so the sketch really gives you the scope to have a little play around, with it, and yeah, just see what you can make. But sketches, if they're not your thing, that's okay. Go ahead and you know, make your original design. Yeah, so I'm really happy with them, and I really hope that you enjoyed tonight. I hope you learn a few things, and I really appreciate everybody watching, and I will catch you again next Thursday at 7:30. And yeah, I'll do some drawings. I haven't done the last 2 weeks worth of drawings for the cards either, so I'll do some drawings over the next couple of days and pop up, see who's the winner of some of the cards that I've been making. So thank you very much, all of you, for watching and interacting. I really do appreciate it. Good night now.